watching the game.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It sucks to be on Loser Monday.
Let's get this show going, man.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy podcast, a Washington Commanders podcast for fans by fans, with your hosts Jesse Martin.
The Cowboys are finished. You understand me?
John Taman.
Pull down my trousers and do your job.
Scott Hartley.
That was dreadful.
And occasionally, Keith Gray.
So many social engagements, so little time.
And now, your host.
That would be me. I'm your host. Now, I listened to the show you put on Friday. It said that echoey crap from my name.
Why? I don't know why you took that out.
Because there was an echo in it, and then I tried to fix it, and I was rushing because every time I do something like that, it's always 10 seconds before the show starts. And anyway, hi everybody. How are we doing on Loser Monday? We got a nice friend downstairs. Hey, say everybody hello to our friend Tim Meek down there, Indy Skins fan.
Hello,
Most
Tim.
positive fan on Twitter, I must say. That is a definite thing. What you got?
Right here. I'm back. Right there.
I think you're cute to take off your shirt, right?
That's why we stay positive right there. 365.
365.
How I roll, you know.
I know it. That's good. I like that.
We appreciate you coming on, Tim. But John has OCD and the timing start the start of the show. He couldn't give you 30 seconds to get in the room. He had to press that fucking button, even though you don't have to.
Telling you something right now.
Our hundreds of fans that are watching right now will wait.
Counting on us. They're counting on us. So now, being late is a character flaw, and I'm sure Scotty would agree. Scotty's here on his deathbed, by the way. He's got COVID-19, right? Or COVID-23.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. COVID-23. Yeah.
Tell you
Thanks to my wife. Yeah, I appreciate that. She just said, "Oh, I think I've got the flu," and felt really ill the last couple of days. And I was like, maybe you should take a COVID test. Oh yeah, I've got COVID. And then I got in from work and was like, I felt like a truck's just hit me. So yeah, it's great.
I'll be that way in a couple hours. I feel like I've been catching the cold all day. And the funny thing is, I've never been anywhere near your wife, so I don't know what's up with that.
Well, I don't know, John. Maybe.
All right, Keith, what's up with you? How you doing?
International jet setter.
Who?
You, Keith. How are you?
Who cares?
Oh, who cares how Keith is? Nobody cares.
Not a fucking one of us.
I care.
Tim cares. I guarantee you that. All right. So here, why don't we just start it off with some Commanders talk real quick. Everybody take a minute and give me your impressions of the game. I don't care from what angle you want to come from, offense, defense, special teams, coaching. I don't care what you want to say. Take a minute and tell me what you think about the game, where we are, anything that you want. Tim, go ahead.
I'll pop it off because there's only one thing that matters, and that's Sam Howell. This season's always been about Sam Howell. I've tweeted about Sam Howell. That's the future, and that's the only thing that matters, and he played well yesterday. Secondary to that, EB, we need to see improvements in play calling, and I don't think we've been consistent enough with that. So as this season progresses, those are the two people I'm looking at. Nothing else matters to me, and I think Keith probably has some things to say about that, but this is truly a time where we have to think long term. We have to be patient, and I know we've been patient for 32 years, but who hasn't been here for 32 years? Josh Harris, these players on this team. It's been the fans. So I'm telling you, with a little more patience, winning's going to come quickly. Patience to win quickly. It's happening. It will happen.
Jesse, go ahead. You had something to say. We were talking before the show started while we were, waiting on Tim to bring the popsicles in. So you were talking directly about what he was just mentioning in terms of Sam Howell and EB. What were you saying? Something controversial, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's controversial to about 95% of the fans, but my meter on Sam Howell's going up, and my meter on Eric Bieniemy is staying the same. Because, be honest with you, a lot of big plays yesterday after watching the game. They weren't play calls by Eric Bieniemy. These were plays after the plays were already broken down that Sam made himself. I'm not sold on Eric Bieniemy. I was listening to a radio program today. They were talking about confidence meters and all these people coming in. There people are like 80% and higher on Eric Bieniemy. And I'm sorry, I'm still at that 50% because he's still leaving a lot to be desired. That first half was garbage. Play calling by Eric Bieniemy. I'm that we had one play, the broken play from Sam to Brian Robinson. That was all Sam and Brian Robinson. That wasn't Eric Bieniemy. For some reason,
the Mahomesian play.
It's a continuing. You're seeing this in multiple games that the the game plan coming in is not good, and they wait way too long until the second half to fix it, and that's an issue to me.
All right, Keith, you have whatever your impressions of the game were, which I would bet $1 that he's going to say, I don't care.
I would much rather.
You owe him $1.
He's going to ask for it too, I guarantee.
Scotty to breathe his COVID-19 on me than for me to have to watch another pitiful, piss-poor excuse for a football team that we all root for the rest of this season. That's my thoughts.
All right, Scotty, what about you through all your COVID? Go ahead.
I mean, I'm going to try and
don't talk too close to the microphone. You're going to spread that shit around. I'm just kidding.
I'm going to take Tim's positivity here and hope that because he's the most positive man in the world, that it is all about Sam Howell. It is all about Sam Howell. I agree with you, Jesse. I'm not convinced in EB, but when do we have to start thinking about, is it the players as well as this coaching team? Because there's some serious big players being let out here. And
there is a mix of both.
I think it's definitely a mix of both, but I think the sooner this season is over, the sooner we have a new regime, the more positivity can come into this franchise and we can move forward. Mm-hmm. I think right now we all know that the season's a dead duck now, and it's just a case of seeing it out, getting towards the end of the season and seeing where we go from there. But at the moment, I still don't believe in the hype of Josh Harris. This is going to be a serious off-season, and it's going to be one where really he's got to stake his reputation on these next two hires, the next GM and the next head coach. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens.
We'll see what it does. I'll tell you what, I will say that Scotty is very interested in breathing that COVID on you. You can see him here in the picture. Right?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, if you can zoom in, you can see my face in the back there. Yeah.
That's a good-looking body for an old man.
That is a good-looking man.
And from being in a mirror, it's not bad at all.
I mean, it's no Tim body, but I'm getting there.
You're doing a good job. My turn. My first impressions of the game yesterday were. I'll echo what Tim said. Sam Howell is definitely the man. I'll echo what Jesse said. He does make plays off schedule, but sometimes I wonder if maybe those off schedule plays aren't as off schedule as they look. He does have a tendency sometimes to bail out when he's got still a bit of a clean pocket. If he makes it work, I'm all right with it. There's other times that he manages to run himself out of room over there, and he's got to throw the ball away.
I agree. 100%. You're absolutely right. And I think that's part of his growing process. And I think he's going to get better with that.
These are not fatal flaws at all. As a matter of fact, the fatal flaws seem to be cleaning up.
I think you're right. I mean, he took 3 sacks yesterday. That's just better. A lot of those were actually on the offensive line. We can talk about that later.
Leonard Williams hates us, man.
That's true.
He does
that's true. But you're scrolling through some of Tim's tweets today, and man, he is a happy-go-lucky Mexican fan. I swear to God. But he makes sense in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
As far as Tim, saying that. You're not convinced in EB is great. I'm not either.
Right.
I'm going to disagree a little bit about last year, just thinking about Taylor Heineke, quarterback in this team, and how so many times where he missed the open receiver, down in the red zone. We were horrible in the red zone, and a lot of people blame Scott Turner. You guys know that I didn't necessarily hate Scott Turner as much as y'all did, but now we've got a quarterback that's making those actual plays right now. I mean, that touchdown pass to Diami Brown, look at that play.
No kidding. Needle thread.
If you think Taylor Heineke could make a play like that, you're on crack. Seriously.
Dude, he fit one into was it Cam Sims, Tim, in the middle of the end zone one time. It's probably the best throw I've ever seen him made. It wasn't more than maybe a 6-yard touchdown, and it might have been against Atlanta, but these two dudes were closing, and he stuck that ball.
Well, when you're 6 yards away, anybody can put some zip on the ball. I'm talking.
All right, I got you. Believe me, I'm not sticking up for Taylor Heineke. He's hurting in Atlanta. On down
to try and be Mr. Positive here and go on that positive thread. If you said to me right now before the season started, you have a quarterback that's got nearly 2,800 yards, 17 TDs, and 9 interceptions, what do you actually think our record would be? genuine question. What do you think our record would be?
Sort of like
it wouldn't be where we are now. It wouldn't be where we are now. I don't think so.
Well, I mean, we've seen quarterbacks before put up big numbers and our defense just sucks like ours does like right now. And
that's part of the problem, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's what we're seeing now. And I think we're all starting, at least I'm starting to be more comfortable with the fact that, yeah, this quarterback definitely deserves another year, no doubt. And he could very well be possibly our future for the next 9, 10, 11 years, you know.
Are you a Sam sexual?
I'm not yet, but I know Tim is. I know Tim is leading the pack of the Sam sexuality.
And in on Sam, and it's for every reason you guys haven't mentioned, and not enough people mention it. I'm all in on Sam because of up here, dude. The ability to stay even keel. So like me, he fits kind of my personality. I'm not a rah-rah guy. I'm optimistic, but I'm also realistic. I can handle lows, as you guys can see, and I can also handle the highs. And that is what I'm most excited to see. And what I'm most optimistic about with Sam is he's got the right mindset to handle success. We've seen enough failure, and we've seen enough of it this year. We've seen how he's responded. He's rebounded. He's gotten better. He's learned. He's done all the things you want a quarterback to do. But what happened to RG3? What happened to Baker Mayfield? What happened to these guys with the egos?
That success got to their head, and
there's also a gap in talent when it comes to RG3. We've talked about that before. That might have been the first time I ever talked with you on Twitter. Yeah, I think you were as nice as possible in telling me to shut up and go away, because I think RG3 was done no favors by his high school and college coaches who just let him go out and be the best athlete on the field because he can win games like that. He just can go do it. So he was kind of behind the curve when he came in the NFL in terms of learning how to actually play the position of quarterback. And I think that's what I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Go ahead, Tim.
Took a while.
No, I agree 100% on that. I even tweeted that today. That Howell is superior in every single way to RG3 outside of his athleticism, but he's not Kirk Cousins. He has enough athleticism. He has enough toughness. He has the moxie. He has everything that you want as a quarterback. And you know what? When you look at teams in the NFL, 1 to 32, I mean, you might have 1 or 2 really bad rosters, and you might have 1 or 2 really good rosters that separate themselves.
Right.
The other 28 rosters, the gap in separation between team to team is minimal. It is so minimal. So when you guys talk about what, the talent level may not be what we think it is on this roster right now, we can change that over quick. That happens in 1 year. It's 33% turnover rate year to year in the NFL. The 2 things that matter are that quarterback and that play caller. And I'm convinced with the quarterback, and we're already seeing it in 2 different systems with this guy. So in that regard, I like the fact that EB could potentially be here, but I just want to see the season play out when it comes to Eric Bieniemy, because there's a lot of options out there, and we can go in directions. We don't even know who the GM is going to be. So I kind of want to put that to rest. Let's let Eric Bieniemy be the best offensive coordinator he can be for the rest of this season, and let's not fire Ron and fire everybody and put him in.
I've been saying that,
Let's let him be an offensive coordinator, develop that quarterback, and we'll see where we're at the end of the year.
Keith, would you like to fire Ron?
Yeah, so absolutely. So a couple things here that we've got to keep in mind. One, we have not had a bye week yet, right? So you see those stats, when you see those Sam Howell stats compared to other quarterbacks, take the bye weeks into consideration. That's still not to downplay what he's accomplished. I agree 100% with what Tim said, Jesse said, and what everyone else has been saying. The one thing that we get out of this kid is absolute 100% maturity. This guy takes accountability for his mistakes. When he makes mistakes, we always and should be looking at how the quarterback is going to respond. He responds tremendously. The kid doesn't get shaken up. He makes tight throws in this league that not a lot of quarterbacks have been able to do. And we're talking making those types of throws with a offensive line who in the beginning of the season wasn't giving him much time. Now, as you see in yesterday's game plan, I don't really know what Eric Bieniemy was doing. It seemed like he was throwing in everything under the sun as long as it was passing, right? The rollouts.
And I think that's an issue.
Passing,
I think that's
the
an issue.
5-step. He really didn't have an identity in what type of passing he was doing. Now, I'm not saying that I know everything that there is to know about being an offensive coordinator, and you have to have a passing identity. But yesterday, it looked to me as if we were just throwing shit up against the wall and hoping that it sticks. And what was happening at times was Sam Howell was making them stick, right? Yeah. And Sam Howell was the one keeping us in the game. So there's no question in my mind that Sam Howell is legitimately, at least I'm willing to commit at this point, because we've been through this quarterback journey for many, many years. I can't sit here and say he's the guy. I can't do that right now, right? But what I can do is say this guy absolutely 100% has earned the right to be QB1 next season. Mm-hmm. And when you take a look at what we've done with our draft picks, okay, or excuse me, the trades that we had with the draft picks that we do have. And I think that if, we do replace the coaching staff, get new guys in, I think there's going to be a lot of decisions that are going to be made that's going to make this fan base happy, because no new ownership wants to come in and lose, right? That's obviously not the goal. So I do expect us to be aggressive at the end of the season, but as you can tell, I'm checked out from this season. This season is done for me. Now, the other thing that I wanted to bring up, I know Eric Bieniemy is getting a ton of, this dude doesn't run the ball. I've mentioned it a million times. It's clear as day. Anybody who's a fan of this team that watches the games understands Eric Bieniemy absolutely hates to run the ball, okay? But do you think that at some point, or if this is just Eric Bieniemy and how he wants to run his offense, or if this is legitimately signs of putting Sam Howell through as many ringers as possible to prove that this guy can be QB1 next season? Because to have as many pass attempts as you do in a game, it's even more than when he was in Kansas City. And this is Andy Reid's type style of offense, right? Right. And this is more than Patrick Mahomes. And we don't have guys like Travis Kelce. No. So do you think that this is kind of like Bieniemy saying, you're auditioning. This is it right now?
I'll tell you what, yesterday they didn't just throw shit at the wall. It might not have been the best game plan, but you could, if you look at the statistics today, you can clearly see what they wanted to do, which was to get the ball out to the running backs in space, whether it was a busted play or not. Their first play of the game was just a quick hit.
Clearly, they were the leading receivers in the game.
Completely. The only 9 balls were caught by wide receivers.
It's because of 2. Because he had the big 250.
It's the number of receptions, not the big play. That was what they wanted to do. They wanted to get, and that's West Coast offense. It's an extension of the running play by saying my offensive line is not very good at blocking between the tackles. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand the ball off 6 yards over there, and throw it over there to him, and let those guys pull out. And yesterday it worked okay.
It's been proven over and over again. You can't throw the ball 50 times a game, though, and win at the highest level, because you've seen that with Buffalo and Josh Allen. What happens when he starts?
This isn't Peyton Manning, as much as you like him.
Absolutely. You have to be able to run the ball. And I'm not somebody who says run the ball just to run the ball. You got to run the ball efficiently. And this is where Eric Bieniemy might be 2 things. It might be his philosophy that he just likes to pass the damn ball 5-1 pass to run. But it may also be that offensive line just isn't built to run the ball. So he may not be he may see that the best possible route for success in offense is passing the ball right now. But the worst thing you can be on offense also, when you look back at this, is predictability. They're very predictable right now in that they're going to pass the ball. So I would imagine as a defensive coordinator, it's easier to game plan against that. So I'd have concerns with that as well.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. And but if you look at it this way, you go look at the Eagles game. We ran the ball against the Eagles. We ran the ball pretty well against the Patriots. Hell, in the second half yesterday, what I was saying yesterday, I thought that might have been B-Rob's best game. If they give him more touches, it definitely most certainly would have been his best game as far as running and passing. I think it takes time for teams to actually get in a groove, the offensive line to get in a groove of running the ball. For Brian Robinson, himself needs to get in a little bit of a groove. So you need to be able to change that up just a little bit. I mean, 5 runs in the first half.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Sure.
That's malpractice, man. That's malpractice no matter what you look at it.
All right. Well, before you spill all over what we're getting ready to do here, Keith's only got a few minutes left, so we're going to move some true or false, and some of the stuff you already touched on is already in there.
Hold on. Before
yes.
we get into true and false, I wanted to add my thoughts more about the game too, because you guys might still get into that before I leave. But I gotta head out. I did want to add too, though. Like, I heard this word complementary today, that the offense and the defense just don't.
Were you speaking to a 12-year-old or a 4-year-old?
Apparently,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know some of the ages, on this here Twitter X, but
complimentary.
I'd imagine most of them are not my age at 44, 45. So, anyways, the biggest issue that we're having this season is the offense and the defense. They're just not synced together. Right. Watching yesterday's game, a lot of people want to go after the defense, which is my initial reaction as soon as we lost that game, was to go after the defense because they gave it up. Right. And it's 100% accurate. Anyone who goes after the defense is 100% correct. But the offense needs to take some of that blame too. Okay.
I agree.
100%
the
offense needs to take some of that blame. You cannot have 4 3-and-outs like that. You can't go 3-and-out towards the end of the game and expect this defense to come back on the field and play the way that they're playing. If you're not giving these guys, who it's hard enough for them as it is, any breather, then these are the results that you're going to get. So, yes, in the end, the defense gave up the game, but let's not just not point the fingers at the offense, because they're responsible. Sam Howell is responsible as well. Sam Howell is also responsible for that stupid fumble. He was trying to make something happen, and he did make it happen. Just fall down, bro.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Yeah. So these are learning experiences. And I'm cutting Sam Howell some slack, because this is what a first-year quarterback, not a rookie, but a first-year quarterback will do. One thing I love about Sam Howell, he doesn't make the same mistake twice, not that I've seen. And that's why I definitely believe this kid can play in this league.
He turns down hamburgers and steaks. I think that's
Go ahead, Tim. You were going to say something?
Oh, no, I was just I agree with what Keith is saying. We definitely haven't seen that here in 32 years.
Yeah.
I mean, the was the last time we've seen football. We've seen really good offensive football, the great Jake years, for example, and then we've seen really good defensive football, like during the Joe Gibbs era. But we've never seen them both at the same time. And yesterday, he's 100% right. Yesterday was a day that the offensive could have put their foot on their throat in the first half, because the defense was playing well enough.
Yeah, we had a lead several. We always come up with a nice sizable lead. 9 points yesterday. Could have been 10.
Yeah.
Right.
So, all ahead.
All right.
Yeah, no, I agree with you and Keith 100%. I even said it in our chat in the game. Like, we can't keep allowing the defense to keep holding them to field goals. We got to do something on offense. Otherwise, it's just not going to happen, because the defense was playing well in the first half. They were keeping it close, and we just kept screwing up on offense. Like, it was like one thing after another. And it's like, after that B-Rob touchdown, it was like, what the hell is going on here? I mean, the offense was going nowhere. All right, true and false. Go ahead, John.
All right, true or false? It is hard as fuck to move this show into the segment of true and false. I'm going to say that's true.
True.
All right, Tim, we'll start with you. The officiating is generally against the Commanders.
False.
Okay.
Boo.
Add to that.
Boo. Hater.
Okay.
This is not just true or false. We get to actually say,
you can expound on it. Go ahead.
Because I live out of market, and I listen to Colts fans say the same thing. I used to live in Minnesota.
Okay.
Say the same thing.
True.
My best friends are all team. They have different favorite teams than I do. They all say the same thing. So no, it's across the board.
I'm gonna say some of the shit on us is egregious. Like, egregious.
Okay. Stop, man. All right, Keith. Brian Robinson had his best game of the year. True or false?
I mean, I'm gonna say true when it comes to passing. Sure.
159 total yards yesterday, or something like that.
I'll double stamp that. Hell yeah, true.
All right,
He should have got the ball more as far as carrying the ball. He 100% should have.
Dude, Brian Robinson, I don't know who here went to camp, but he looked amazing in camp. So this is what we saw in camp, and I'd love to see more of it because he can really catch the ball out of the backfield. We're seeing glimpses, but he's the truth, man. He's been exciting.
He's got some wheels too. Once he gets
I want to see him try to outrace him, and he did yesterday. That's nice.
Yeah. What I'd like to see.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, that's what you said. Once he gets going, I'd like to see him keep going, and we haven't seen that yet. I want to see that happen.
I mean, that's what we were told in training camp, that they were doing a lot of screens of Brian Robinson, and we really haven't seen that in the beginning of the year. We're starting to see that now, but he's a big guy, so it takes a little bit for him to really get going. But once he's gets his feet under him, I mean, he's gone, man. He's got speed for a really big guy.
All right, Jesse, true or false? The problem in our secondary is due to a lack of pressure.
I'm going to say it's just two parts right here. Yes, in a sense, absolutely. But in a sense, they couldn't cover anybody with a wet blanket.
All right, Scott.
Yeah.
Scott, who's doing his best to breathe over there. Forbes got tossed out for doing the lockdown motion after the hit.
No, that's false. He got tossed out because New York thought it was an egregious hit and not a football bang bang play. And to be honest with you, yeah, it was helmet to helmet contact. I agree with the penalty. Don't agree with the ejection. I think they should crowdfund is fine. Whatever.
It wasn't a targeting whatsoever. I mean, please go look at the Logan Thomas hit against him against what was it, the Broncos? That just and home dude didn't get ejected for that. That was a targeting.
He did get ejected actually, Jesse, for that.
That was the one on the sideline. That was Sam Howell's, not Logan Thomas's.
All right. Okay. So I've got some video that I want to go over here with these next questions here. So Tim, true or false? Jamin Davis is close to being considered a bust. You could start to think about it.
I would say true, but I can't really back that up with much because I'm not. I struggle to even get through the game because I'm drinking beers and stuff. So, and I don't watch tape. So, I
love that.
I don't know what his sign. I know what it looks like on TV. And
Tim, you're perfect for this show.
But I don't know, man. I'm the wrong person to ask when it comes to that. So,
well, I'll tell you what. Jesse and I had a discussion yesterday during the game, and I said I'm getting tired of watching him loaf after play. So I'm going to show you this play. NFL, don't sue us, please. Here's the play. Watch.
Pete Carroll was raving about it when we were talking with him before the game. They set up the screen to Disley, and Disley with a little bit of running room, barreling forward across the 40 and out of bounds.
I mean,
you pointed out that little two-hand touch that shoved him so far out of the play he couldn't recover. Right?
I mean, no, he couldn't recover it. Are you kidding me?
He turned around. He loafed after it.
He turned around, and he was 15 yards ahead of him.
Let me show you this reverse angle, and maybe it'll change your mind. Here's a shot of Jamin Davis chasing after that play.
Disley, and Disley with a little bit of running room, barreling forward across the 40 and out of bounds.
And that dude's loafing.
You're so stupid. You're so stupid.
All right, so where were we on that? I don't know if I would consider him a bust just yet, but yeah, it's getting close. You know, the thing that I get so bent out of shape about is it just doesn't seem like Jack Del Rio's able to develop these guys.
I think if he was in a normal 3 or a 4-3, like a set 4-3 defense, I think he'd be all right as a Sam linebacker. I don't think I'm not going to call him a bust. Yeah, he gives up a play here and there, but he was definitely overdrafted. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll give you that, but I mean, a bust to me is like someone that really doesn't belong in the NFL.
Okay, that's true. Okay. That's fair.
See, that's really tough because we look at these good dudes and we're sitting here judging from our microphones and our couches, saying, "Oh, these guys are bust." These guys are the top 1% of the people and play this game in the country.
You're rubbing off on Scott,
and you're sitting there saying this guy's a bust. I mean, I never get that. I never say that people are busts. Do they work out at the correct team? Maybe not.
I
Maybe
mean,
not.
Jamarcus
That's way
Russell. Jamarcus Russell was a bust.
No, I get that.
That's not
I-
fucking like.
So how do you have
wasn't
a
his
collegiate
fault, though.
career then and a high school
Was it?
career and be the top?
No,
of
it
your-
wasn't.
be the
Al
top of
Davis
your
wouldn't
game?
put the Funyuns into the goddamn soda into the machine like he wanted. So you can't have Funyuns. You have to eat more healthy. Jamarcus, you're the size of a house. All right. Okay. So true or false? Tim, Keith, I got to get you. Deron Payne and Jonathan Allen are really just getting to the point now where it's questionable what the hell is going on. Why are these guys so bad?
Yeah.
True or false?
I mean, to the fan base, it's true. To me, it's false. I just think that, again, everything is situational play. Because the other two guys are gone, we're looking more from Allen and Payne. I mean, Payne showed up yesterday a little bit. So I just think it's one of these things where we got to quit turning on these guys, man. We looked at John Allen as you know, a leader of this team. And the guy is showing, even though I did say in previous shows earlier, look, I don't want to hear this guy. Oh, that's because I'm angry. But at the end of the day, man, I'm glad he's speaking up. It may be wrong timing, but that's what leaders do. But the reason why people don't want to hear anything from this leader is because the team in itself is not leading to wins. And so everybody's looking for fingers to point and to blame. Both of those guys are top defensive linemen. I'm going to stick by their side.
All right. Well,
let me
Cameron, I got video of him playing football, and we're going to show that next.
Yo, this is all this kid does.
Right.
Like all day long.
All right. Well, look,
anyways,
I want you to look at this. This is an isolation of Payne and Allen. This is in the second quarter. I don't know what the hell they're doing.
Smith with time, lots of time.
Resulted in a completion to Metcalf. What the hell's up with that?
I think we all we need to see more from them. I think especially after last year, after Payne's last year, what we saw from him last year, we need to see some more from those two guys.
So
and I will agree with that. We should see more, 100%. But I'm not going to turn on those guys. It's just, look, this is a collective piss poor effort of being able to close out games on everyone. But I do agree, when you look at guys like them, you expect leaders to step up. We kind of haven't seen that. I get everyone's frustration, so you're not going to hear me be like, oh, you guys are stupid, and I'm much cooler than you because I support my team, because we all know I hate my team right now. I hate my team every year.
You are so much cooler than all of us, though, man. I can't help it.
Listen, well, hey, guys, listen, I gotta head up on out of here. For anyone who is listening, sorry, I'm going to have to plug this real quick. My son's wrestling team is only $200 short from their actual goal. Thank you to everyone who has supported my son, and he's actually been the top donors. I want to thank the Charles Leno and Jim Leno for donating to that too. They made me a hero in my own town. I mean, people were talking about it like, yo, how do you know the Lenos? And I'm like, I really don't, but I'm going to tell you that we're best friends and they send me Christmas gifts, just because.
Well, now she's listening.
Yeah. No, I mean, seriously though, like, people were like, yo, I can't believe that, the Lenos. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm super cool. But anyways, back to the point is
I'm more impressed they know who the Lenos are.
Yeah.
Well,
it's only a 4-letter word, Leno. They can handle that.
Because a lot of the people that I talk to, they're all football people, and actually the wrestling coach, his daughter, not the middle school coach, but the high school coach, they're Bears fans, so they know who Charles Leno is. In fact, I brought a picture a couple years ago to Charles Leno of the wrestling coach and his daughter that they took when they met at was it Soldier Field? They play? Where did they play now? Is it Soldier
Field? Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, and they got on field and had a picture. Well, that was when I think she was like 4 years old or something like that, 5 years old. And Charles was nice enough to sign it for us. So that's how they know Leno. But other than that, super cool. So if anybody is still interested in helping Carter's team reach that goal of 5,000, only 200 left, you can go to my Twitter. I pinned the link. Go to the link and donate. If not, that's cool too. I love everybody. And Tim, it's always a pleasure, sir. Even though you're super positive and we're the complete opposite, I I enjoy you as a fan. I always am happy to see you when I do see you, and I look forward to seeing you again in game, sir.
Yep, I'm going to see you December, Miami.
Oh, cool. That should be a fun game.
Yeah, I'm probably going to try to sell my ticket, but anyways.
He said, all right, fuck off.
Keith, he's just the ginchiest, don't you think, Scott?
So bougie.
You guys just got larger.
We got what?
We got larger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we got larger. Keith's head takes up so much space. We really have to.
I'm already large enough, Tim. So
I had a thought.
All right.
We were talking about these moves that has to be made next season. Need 2 tackles, need linebackers, need defensive ends.
Big turnover.
Yeah, exactly. And Tim, you said earlier, about 30 average is like 33%. I'm thinking almost it's going to be almost like 45 to 50% turnover. And really, we can't expect that to happen in the first year. We're going to have now if the new coaching staff, GM, and everything elects to keep Sam Howell, we got maneuverability. We can do a lot of things because we don't have to pay a big contract to the quarterback. But
yet,
as we've seen, Leno hasn't had a terrible year this year.
Right.
What is the thought of possibly moving him over to right tackle and going to get one of these stud, offensive tackle? Yeah, the guy from Penn State or
Walt.
I don't know if that's possible. I mean, obviously left tackle is like one of the hardest positions to play, in the NFL. But I know he has played some right tackle. I think in his first year in Chicago. I want to
swing tackle for us, wasn't he? For a little while there. Am I misremembering that?
No, that's
no. I don't. That's always been Lucas, I think, for a while.
But I mean, that could be a possibility because he's had an okay year. I think he's not a slobber knocker on that side, but he's had a decent enough year that possibly we can move him over and try to save.
As a depth, sure, absolutely. What do you think? I mean, you asked Tim.
One
go ahead.
thing that we have got is we've got 25 people who are due a new contract at the end of the season. So when you think of the 53, that is pretty much as you stated there, Jesse. It's 50% almost, isn't it? Because you're not getting rid of your specialists at the moment. I mean, you may change up snapper and you may change up kicker. That could be 2 that go there. But realistically, if we take them off, it's like taking 25. So it's pretty much half the roster is due a contract in some way, shape, or form.
Definitely.
It's going to be very interesting.
Not ready, getting rid of the kicker. Go ahead, Tim. Cheeseman, yes.
Tim out of the mute on?
He left. Tim's out. He's disappeared.
All right. Well, I guess he's got things to do.
Yeah.
He's probably going to. I don't know. I think he just got disconnected. I don't think they're getting rid of Joey Sly. He's had a heck of a year so far. He's missed that point. I mean, obviously, it wouldn't have mattered even if he made that extra point. But besides the fact, I think Sly has overall had a solid year. Now, Cheeseman is another story. We noticed yesterday.
What's up with Cheeseman there, Tim? I mean,
we're talking kickers.
Yeah, we are. Now we're in your wheelhouse.
Attaboy.
There we go. So, Tressway having another great season. I asked this question yesterday. It just struck me. Have we ever run a fake punt with him? Has he ever thrown a pass?
Yeah. He's got a higher QBR than Tom Brady.
It was early in his career. I believe it was a touchdown. We definitely got the first down.
We did. It was a touchdown.
And I used the wrong hand. It's the lefty. So.
Okay. I think I remember that now. Yeah. I was just curious because we don't ever seem to take chances on things like that. We don't come for blocks. We don't.
A couple.
What's that?
He's had a couple. I'm going to look it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure he still states he has a higher QBR than Tom Brady.
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't think he has an incompletion. I think he's had maybe like 2 or 3.
He's my fantasy quarterback. I don't get many points, but when I do, boy, it's pretty good.
Cheeseman, guys. I mean, Tressway deserves the MVP this year because he just for that game alone. I mean, there were some bad snaps. I know earlier, like a couple weeks ago, we gave Cheeseman a pass and a butt pat for not
screwing something up. Yeah.
But yesterday was bad. It was really bad.
Okay, so Wiley was sick, right? Scratched at the he played, but he was ill. Jahan Dotson looked listless. He had 0 catches. The one time
he had that drop. I mean, he didn't even try to get that pass.
I'm wondering if there wasn't something going through the locker room. Some of these guys are all showing up sick today.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So what do you got, Tim? You got the stat?
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, it's all Scott's fault.
Right, way to go, Scott.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what's Trustway's QBR?
Yeah,
I cannot find it. I
no.
Here we go. No, I got it. 2 for 2. He's 2 for 2.
All right.
Perfect. Right. His last one was in 2018.
Wow, he's due for a pass. We're due for one. I mean, tell you what, we got some guys we can run out there for that. All right, so let's do some. All right, Tim, if you've never been with us, what we do is we go around the room and we'll talk offense and defense, and we'll hand out butt pats for guys that we think did a good job, and we'll hand out head smacks for guys that we think need one. So we'll start with you on offense. Who's your first offensive butt pat of the day? We are patting butts here, sir.
You know it's going to be my guy, Sammy.
Attaboy. There you go, Sam.
One.
All right, Scott, take up the reins. Who's your first butt pat of the day on offense?
Brian Robinson. It's got to be, isn't it? I'll take the low-hanging fruit.
Y'all got both of mine.
Well, go ahead. Pick another one.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I mean,
all right, well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you one.
Guys.
I thought John Bates had his best game of the season. John Bates had a couple of big receptions. He was doing quite well in the blocking. I thought that he was active and downfield, really helping out on plays. I thought John Bates had a really good game. So,
yeah, no, I'm gonna have to. I'll have to double up on those guys. I think they really Sam and Brian Robinson really kept this offense in the game. You know, I hats off to Diami Brown for that catch and touchdown. You know, give him a butt pat for that. That was first time really this season that we've really seen anything from Diami Brown. You know. He was brought in here to make big plays like that, you know, and that was a great pass. I mean, it all starts with the pass. I mean, he just sunk it in right between 3 defenders, and Diami was right in the middle of that. So that's probably Sam's best pass to date right there. But good, shout out to Diami for actually catching it this time. He had one last week that went right through his freaking hands.
Now, again, yesterday, I noticed Terry was very close. Tim, do we have a spacing problem? This seems to happen a lot. I tend to see when we make a big play. I mean, the Dotson touchdown last week, the play to Diami Brown, we have another receiver that just seems to me to be a little too close to the action.
Well, from these fan goggles here, I mean, it kind of appears that way. But again, like I said, I don't watch these games outside of live. So
me neither. I just watch them.
But yeah, I mean, it looks that way sometimes.
Yeah.
All right. So who's and more? Anybody else got any more offensive heads?
I'll say that. I say that too. That goes on Bieniemy, in my opinion. You know, I think that's another knock because it's noticeable. It is definitely noticeable with the spacing issues that sometimes this has, and you know that doesn't help Sam Howell really. You know, I mean he sees 2 guys in the same area. Why? You know,
it brings defenders.
Yeah, it brings more defenders to that area. So. Yeah, I think that's another knock on Bieniemy. I know probably I'd get killed for saying that because I for some reason everybody thinks Bieniemy's the second coming of Andy Reid, and I just haven't seen it yet. I still like what he's done.
He needs a hell of a lot more hush puppies to do that.
That's true. But I want to see more. And in going back what I was saying earlier about Tim's message, I don't want them to fire Ron and put more on Eric Bieniemy. I want Eric Bieniemy to concentrate on being an offensive coordinator right now. It would be great if he could have one more year with another coach coming in. But unfortunately, I think at the end of the year, it's either going to be Bieniemy as a head coach or no Bieniemy at all. I just think that's just how it's going to be. And I think it'd be good also for Sam's development. So, you know, maybe Josh like, you know what, here, give them the reins, and they're going to have to hire a really, really good defensive coordinator and then bring somebody in that possibly has been a head coach before, making him a associate head coach you know, to help take some of the pressure so he can concentrate more on the offense. Then you know he can kind of delegate other duties like that.
Tim, you look like you had a comment.
Oh, I agree 100% with something he just said. When it comes to the new,
I'm relegated to he.
Jesse, you don't hear that much. Jesse.
There you go.
No,
all right.
No, go ahead, Tim. Go ahead, Tim.
I hate looking too far ahead, but I think it's pretty clear that if we finish this year strong offensively and Sam continues on the path he's on, that EB is going to have a look. Naturally, he would have to by the new regime, by this new GM. But I think even if they don't go with Eric as the next head coach, I wouldn't be shocked if they look at the guy from Detroit or some of these better offensive minds, because that's just the direction that teams seem to be going right now.
Right.
I would imagine that's what they're going to do. So all these guys are going to be really good. I mean, they can all scheme it up, right? I mean, I think anybody they bring in, we're not talking about a Dan Snyder that's going to bring in Jim Zorn. You know,
no. I think Gruden had receivers running open all over the doggone place.
Yeah,
we've got confidence though, and I believe that they will hire the right coach, and I think that's going to be an offensive coach. But what I'm most worried about is the ego of that coach. Will that prevent him, like it did for Jay Gruden, for bringing in the best possible defensive coordinator that you can get?
Yeah.
Because those guys are afraid that these guys are going to take their jobs. And that's reality. I've talked to enough people, and that's how a lot of these guys operate, and that's why Sean McVay has been so successful. He's brought in really good defensive coordinators.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's well said. Well said.
Anybody else? You got any more offensive butt pats for the day, or we got?
I get one Terry every week. I don't care. He's from Indy. He's the best dude in the world, and he deserves it because he gets over when he plays well. So if he just had a so-so game yesterday, he gets one from me.
I guess I shouldn't tell Tim that I'd be in favor of them trading him at the end of the year. Then,
yeah, you shouldn't tell him that.
Our friendship may cease to exist after this.
I love Terry. I love Terry, but I'm all about the future now. I'm all about the future, and if they see fit and they can get a first-round pick, I'm running to that trade table and making that trade.
See what happens.
You guys, the people that value those draft picks, just amazing.
And the only reason it's the fact that Terry's getting older, and we've seen it time and time again. I mean, yes, there's some receivers that do break that mold, and there's quite possibly Terry is that receiver.
No severe injury.
He's got a big contract, and he is getting older. Those are my only points. I wouldn't be upset.
Terry is so different in that he is the face of a franchise that doesn't have a face.
You're right. You're right.
Go to games. I mean, the kids are screaming for Terry. The kids absolutely love him. His teammates, more importantly, absolutely love him. His coaches love him. He's everything you want out of a football player. So even if he were to lose a step, he's smart and he's going to figure out ways to get open. He's got great hands. He will always get better, and it's something that you've seen from the time I've watched him ever since he was in junior high. And this kid was 115 pounds as a freshman in high school. And look at him. He's a big guy now. He's built himself up to 210 pounds. But everything that anybody has ever said, he's too small. His hands aren't good. Doesn't run routes. Those are the things he works on. And now he's the best at all that stuff.
Yeah, all three of those are not around 9. Yeah, not now.
And he's just a great teammate, and he's everything that you want out of a football player. So I think those are the kind of guys that you pay and that you keep around, and that their value extends beyond whatever they give you statistically or on the field. I think he's worth every penny, and I would not trade that guy for anybody or anything.
All right, Scotty. Before Scotty falls asleep, go ahead. Whatever, Jesse. Go ahead.
No. I was just saying. I mean, everything Tim said is absolutely correct. But I mean, it's just the fact that we're having a whole new fucking regime coming in, and we don't know what's gonna. They're gonna, if they want to tear it down, and it looks like they're starting to. They got rid of their both defensive ends. I mean, that was kind of shocking. And if they do that, then I mean, who knows? I yes, I would be upset. I hold Terry near and dear to my heart, but I just I would understand if they did put it to you that way.
if that was a consideration, you know what's going to happen is that GM's going to bring Terry into the room, and they're going to talk to Terry, and then they're going to leave that room and say, "What the fuck was I thinking? This guy's not going anywhere."
100%, 100%. That man is a natural born leader. And what do you want to do in any workplace, in any way you go to? You don't want a manager. You want someone who you can follow, who's a leader, who builds you up as well. And I think he does that around this team. He builds other receivers. Just look at Dotson. I mean, do you really think Dotson came on enough? I mean, was he the finished article when he came here? No, but being with Terry has made him a better player, no doubt about it. And our wide receiving core is like that. Look at Curtis Samuel playing alongside Terry every day. Their teammates at Ohio State. They are enjoying playing football. And if you can enjoy playing football in what is pretty much a terrible team and has been for a long time, this is going to get better. And that's someone who you have to build around. He is our franchise face, as you said, Tim. No doubt about it. You can't trade him, in my opinion. You really can't.
We all agree. Jesse's full of shit. And that's the end of that. All right. So anyway, let's go on with offensive head smacks. Scott, go ahead and keep us going.
God. Offensive head smacks. Oh, well. I mean, I don't know where to start. I mean, Eric Bieniemy probably is the only one coaching-wise.
Very careful.
That's just
head. Just on that thing.
That's true. But five run plays in the first half is just abysmal. You can't draw it up like that. You simply can't. Especially when we saw what we saw in New England. It was a great game plan. And I thought to myself, wow, we finally turned the corner. This is looking there. And then you think to yourself, you have to win this game if you're going to be serious contenders or think about even backing into a wild card spot. And you just knew with 40 seconds to go, yeah, we're going to lose this. You knew it. You had that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach that you knew, even though we tied it up. And I thought, well done, Sam. That's a great throw. We tied this up. You just knew it. You just knew it was going to go the other way.
Right. All right. So, Tim, head smack does not mean you actually don't like this person. It just means you didn't think they did such a good job yesterday. So you're clear.
I just have. I mean, I would just have to piggyback off Scott. I mean, EB is all I had. I could nail any individual player. I don't know.
Yeah, Jesse. What about you? You're going to stay with EB?
I mean, yeah. Obviously, EB is my number one, but I'll go ahead and give it to a player, Larson. He
didn't have a good game.
He did not have a very good game yesterday. So, but yeah, obviously, I'd put EB over that, but Larson definitely deserves one.
The only one that I would give one to, and it's a soft pat or soft smack, is Dotson. He just doesn't. He didn't seem right. The games that he's been dropping balls, he just doesn't seem right. And I don't know.
Is that one? I don't think he was targeted that much. Is that one play? He was targeted. He just didn't even. It didn't seem like he tried. I don't know. Maybe it was a miscommunication, but it was. I think it was on a third down too. That I'm like, he didn't even try for that play.
That's what you're going to get out of first round picks that you're wanting to get for Terry. I mean,
there you go. I mean, I'll give one more.
Hey, you want to bring up Terry's drops too, because he's definitely had a few this year.
He's had a couple this year. Yeah, everybody has them. You know,
important ones. Tim said, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
I'm sick of these clowns. I'll give you one more, John. I'm going to say Logan Thomas. He looked like he was when he picked that ball up. He looked like he was red rum starting in the Grand National. Dude, lengthen your stride. You look like you'd absolutely shit your drawers. I mean,
I told you, it looked like he was running like he was trying not to poop himself. He was holding them things together.
It was terrible. I was like, I know you missed a step, but my God, it was like the dad sports race he was running out there.
Getting a stride going there, buddy. All right, let's move over to the defense. Let's get some defensive butt pats. Tim, go ahead.
Butt pats. Right.
Yeah, this is tough.
Whose butt do I want to tap?
I got one.
Gosh, that's nasty.
That's what they do when they come off the field. If they do a good play, they give a smack on the ass.
Yeah. Some are nicer than others. Did you see the meme with the video last week of the referee? I forgot what.
Yeah, he was. That was wild. It was Philly, wasn't it?
Oh, he was kind of squeezing.
Oh yeah.
Like it was. Yeah,
he was getting up close and personal, a little bit too personal.
But that's Philly for you.
Illegal touching, 10 yards.
I don't know if anybody really stood out from my end. I would probably have to go with. I thought Deron Payne played better than other people did. Maybe I don't know. I thought he was impactful.
I think this. Yeah, I would agree with Tim. I think this was his best game in the past, probably like 4 or 5. Yeah. But that's not saying much because they've been. It's hard. I can't. I can't give anybody but Pat for that performance.
John, have you got anyone? Because I got one, and that's it.
I'll give one to Cam Curl because he tried, but that's about it. But the blitzing that we do is absolutely atrocious. Our blitzes never get home. In fact, here, look, I got video of one of our blitzes. I want you to see what I'm talking about. We disguise nothing. We stand up there with a sign that says we're going to blitz, and then this kind of shit happened.
Laser, they're all blocking to the left. Here comes that pressure. Quick dart, Metcalf with a catch.
And then there goes our cornerback. He's right out of the play. So yeah, I'm gonna. That's the only butt pat I can give is Cam Curl.
I think. Don't quote me if it was it Andre Jones who had the 2 pass deflections?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Which is the first time since Chase Young in the 49ers game a few years ago. So fair play, well done. You're a 7th round rookie. You came.
Did
in,
anybody get
hardly any snaps? Well done.
Was there any update on Smith Williams? It was a knee
Injury.
or hamstring or something?
I think it was a hamstring.
He came back in.
Did he? Okay.
Two plays after. Only missed one play. And he was sat with. I saw him sat with John Allen on the sideline. They had a bit of a fist bump to say, "Yeah, I'm okay." So it seemed like you should be all right. Probably just tweaked it a little bit, which you hope so. But
I'm just so impressed by the details. I mean, you're awesome.
Yes.
I had no idea he came back in the game.
Way to go, Scott.
Yeah.
Like 12 years in.
I'll tell you what, I thought that I wouldn't give Smith Williams a butt pat for yesterday's performance because they didn't get home. But, he was at least somewhat disruptive in that he was getting back there, but just nobody.
I think Tuhill will, he's got speed, but I think Smith Williams a better all around.
Yeah, he's he's an edge setter.
Yeah, Tuhill's got speed. I'll give him that, but I think Smith Williams he's just better all around to me. All right, that's Max.
The fact that we have to reach for anybody tells you all you need to know about what happened.
Yeah, it does. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely right.
I'm gonna go first.
Go ahead.
Max.
Go ahead. Hit Max on defense.
Benjamin St. Juice basically single-handedly lost us that game. With that was the poorest final drive I think a football player could possibly have, and unfortunately, it happened on pretty much every play on that drive. Yeah, man, I was sick.
I did some research today. Smith Dejigba actually means watch me roast this slow ass linebacker. There's my head smack for the day. Is our entire linebacking crew, and it's not their fault. I mean, like somebody like Kaliki Hudson, it's not your fault, dude. You just can't. You're just not. All right. David Mayo, the fact that JDR looks down the bench and there's his first backup, that is such a damnation of that guy. So there's my head smack.
I think it's more of a damnation on the Martys and Ron Rivera than it is.
Well, it's not like they don't have
anybody else.
They ask Jack about it, and I will remind you. Here's James Davis chasing that damn.
Disley, and Disley with a little bit of running room, barreling forward across the 40 and out of bounds.
Tell you what,
Jack has zero to do with anybody, the players that come on this team.
I can't fucking possibly believe that when they're talking about at the draft and they're sitting there each other. Forbes is there. He's there. And they're all excited about it.
He was in another room. Jack Del Rio was in another room.
And again, the damning finger. If you can't even build your own defense, dude, this guy is worthless. What does he do there? I see him on the sidelines, right? You see a guy on the sidelines on any other team, and they got a.
What do you think
GMs do in front of him? Jack has his play card is like this. Jack is like.
What do you think, John? What do you think GMs do on other teams? They pick
doesn't make any difference, though. See, here's the thing. I don't care what they do on other teams, and if you're there's no way that they just go, okay, here we're going to give you this guy. There's no way that you're going to tell me that he didn't have any input on drafting Chase Young or drafting Forbes or drafting this freaking linebacker that still can't.
Guarantee he didn't. He's a coach. That's all he does. He coaches the players that they give him.
Because he doesn't coach them either. I don't know what he does.
That's another point. You're right about that. But the fact of the matter is, Jack doesn't have any control of who he gets.
No,
Eric Bieniemy got to bring in Wiley, but other than that, that's about it.
They got to ask input. What do you think, Tim? Am I right or wrong?
You're always right.
Well, thank you. See, we're going to have him on all the time. I like this guy.
But listen,
good for you.
I forget who said this last week. I think it might have been on Sheehan I think it was Sheehan. Or it might have been Tommy who said it on Sheehan's podcast. That how differently would we feel about Ron Rivera if he stood on the sidelines with a clipboard and a piece of paper and a pen was writing stuff during the game, even if it was just scribbles?
Much better.
Hey, I'd feel better if he gave me his French fries.
Terribly stupid. All right. Okay, where are we with the head smacks? Scott, did you give a head smack?
No, not yet, but I'm going to have to dig him out here, and I didn't want to do this and never want to do this, but my boy, F.A. Obada, can't get lost. He can't get lost inside on fourth downs, mate.
No.
I
think you ought to threaten him that you're going to go over to his mom's house and give her COVID.
I might do. She's only 2 hours down the road from me, so maybe I'll get in the car.
Did a very good game. My head smack is they can only do what they can do. Percy Butler, I think that this PFF thing that I've been seeing all day, highest rated commander, pass defender, whatever, it doesn't give the whole picture because in pass defense, I guess he was all right, but in run defense, he was god awful. Yeah. He keeps taking the wrong angles. Another finger at Jack, dude. Oh yeah, I forgot. He doesn't pick him. But he thinks he can do all kinds of stuff with these 6th and 7th round picks, but he's not a teacher. So, it's just a muddled up mess. Tim, you got any more head smacks?
Yeah, just the whole defense.
Okay, there you go.
Well, I'll say the whole second half defense. I think the first played solid enough to win, but when you're on the field, what was the Scott? Do you have the time of possession in front of you since you know pretty much everything?
I'll find it for you.
I think it evened up a little bit in the second half, but the first half time of possession, I know it had to have been lopsided because we weren't on the field.
Well, neither were they. We had a bunch of punt trades back and forth.
Yeah, but they would just drive down the field and score field goals. Like I mean, that's the thing. Defense is on the field, and then we turn around and go 3 and out and give it right back to them. And they would drive the field. Defense would make a stop, and we just couldn't get nothing, out of it. And I think by the end of the game, when Kenneth Walker and was it Charbonnet, they started to go off, and I mean, by
good 1-2 punch.
Yeah, the defense is gassed by then, I think.
Very, very even, Jesse. It was 29 minutes, 33 seconds, Commanders to 30 minutes, 27 seconds.
What does it show the split the first half seconds? I know the second half.
Just a full stat.
But they ran probably at least if you've got it there, they probably ran 20 more plays than we did.
Yeah.
13.
They did.
They ran 13 more plays than we did, which is 2 drives, really, when you get right down to it. So, yeah. That was something I picked up this morning, listening to the podcast, driving around, and trying to tell myself I wasn't going to get a cold. But here it comes.
Quick one then. What can we do as a team, and who is at fault here? Is it the players not doing their assignments, not doing their job? Is it the coaches? Is it a bit of both? Why do we seemingly give up massive plays every single game without fail?
Ron dodged that question like it was a bullet today. I think it's a combination of everything.
I mean, really, it kind of is. Every offensive play.
Every not going to answer it honestly.
Every offensive play you play is designed to get a touchdown, basically. Okay. Every defensive play is designed to try to cover all bases, no matter what happens. And you go back and forth. You try to to find weaknesses in every play, whether you're on offense or defense. And so far, I mean, the team is just the offense that just seems to find the weakness every fucking damn play. And either, player fucks up and doesn't cover, it's not tight enough in coverage.
Yeah.
That's what usually happens, in the big, either it's a busted coverage because obviously the play call is not supposed to leave a wide open, no one within 30 yards, a piece of field, obviously. So a miscommunication somewhere, somebody fucked up. You know what I mean?
Well, when I seen Smith-Njigba go across the field, and I literally can count this 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000 before David Mayo goes, "Oh, hey," and then he goes. That's
what I mean. It's like the light doesn't go off in their head. Oh, forgot. I'm supposed to be there. Now he's 20 fucking yards
The
away.
other side of the coin there, though, even if Jack doesn't help build his own, do his own grocery shopping, they say do your job. Well, what if these guys can't do their job, right? You can't tell me that last week against Hunter Henry, Kaliki Hudson can somehow be fucking a foot taller, right, on that touchdown.
Yeah, and that right there is a Marty Herney, a Ron Rivera, and Martin Mayhew problem. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Coming out of Michigan, but these guys take 4 years before they put him in a game. It's crazy. So,
just want to say before we go, shout out to Scouse Andy Lockhart, always in the chat, definitely. and my partner in crime on the 1 Point Safety Show. Happy birthday, mate!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday for a big guy, Scouse. Yeah, it's.
I'm not saying that, but
we have poor players. I think we overrated our defense after playing some bad teams last year. I think and supposedly, the players that we got in was supposed to shore up our backfield, and our defensive backfield was supposed to work in tandem with our vaunted defensive line, and just didn't click.
That's the way it is. Tim, you got anything to say to wrap us up?
Pretty damn hard, right?
Yeah.
If it was easy, they'd fix it. And that's probably the biggest question they should have for Ron is not why they're giving up so many big plays, but fix it.
Yeah. I got one more thing to say. We were getting run on yesterday during our Cinco package. Our Cinco package is built to stop the run, and they were that right. That's a fucking player problem. Are they not given full effort? Is it, or are they not conditioned enough that they're so run down at the end of the games? I mean,
Walker's the rookie of the year candidate. You got to give him that.
I know, but they were getting gashed. They were getting gashed.
We have Mayo on the field. I mean, I typically don't try. I try not to knock a professional athlete, not from where I sit.
It's nothing personal.
Have you ever had those dreams where you feel like you're running so fast, but your feet are weighted down and you're not moving at all? That's what David Mayo looks like when he runs. His
good analogy.
His ratio of steps compared to who he's chasing is like 3-1.
Right.
And he's got stones in his pockets.
He shouldn't be.
Barton wasn't that much better either.
No, he wasn't. And either, Cole Holcomb did the same damn things. The thing about Mayo is, as special teams, I love him. I think he's fantastic on special teams.
No, he's good at special teams.
To me, it's a failure that Jack Del Rio, when his new starting middle linebacker goes down, turns around to the bench, and the only guy he look and see is fucking David Mayo. He's like, no, dude, you're special teams.
Who would have thought we'd miss John Boston? All right, it's time to go.
Oh, stop it. All right, we'll see everybody on Friday when we will preview the big game against we got to go against that guy DeVito up in New York. Oh, no, he's coming down here. He's going to play down here. That's all right. He's coming down 95. His mom and dad are going to let him lend the car.
Big thanks to our buddy Tim Meek for joining this crazy shit show. You can catch Tim. What's your X account? Where can they find you?
It doesn't matter. I'm just my name, Tim Meek, Indy Spins fan.
Yeah, you can find Tim pretty easy. Just if you're following us, we're always talking with him, so you'll see him. You'll see him. All right, everybody. What do you got to say, Scott? Are you going to die before Friday?
Fuck off, fucking COVID, you wankers.
I hope I'm not going to die. Cheers, John. If I am, the insurance policy's in the top right-hand corner, love. There you go.
You hide your magazines. That's all. You don't want your kids finding that after you're gone.
Big boy.
Tim came right on in. What?
I thought it was Keith.
All right, y'all. We'll see you later.